So you join me here on the banks of my new syndicate lake, but this video is going to be a collection of footage from my spring fishing campaign. My first few trips to the lake were in 2022 around autumn time, but with the shooting season fast approaching, I didn't get back to the lake until about March in 2023. And on my second session that year, I was treated to the capture of this mirror, the slate grey, at £25 1 ounce. I didn't manage to get any footage of that fish, unfortunately, but the session after that, I had a friendly visitor. Well, as you can see, it is absolutely pissing it down. I'm confident. I came down, the weather was perfect yesterday, really low pressure. Sun was out in the afternoon. I came down to do some baiting up, just a quick trip down, baited a few spots in case anyone was here. Today, no one's here, and I don't blame them because it is horrible. It is so grim out. It's been hammering it down all afternoon. But I spotted some fish when I arrived. A couple in the reed bed, in the margins, and just a couple cruising on the top just before it started to hammer it down. They've all gone now, but we spotted them. Rigs are out. I am going to check the rigs just before dark, because there are a lot of roach here, and to be honest, they destroy the bottom baits that I've got on. They destroy them. So I'm fishing with half a bottom bait and a pop-up topper, half of that on top. So they destroy, like shred them to bits, the bottom baits. So I'll check those before dark, and then see how we get on in the morning. Check them again at first light, before bite time, which is usually between 7 and 9 o'clock, give or take. So see how we get on, but I'm the only one here, so positive. Got in the swim I wanted. Fingers crossed. I'm confident. Well, he's been eating my manila, that's for sure. Put up a big scrap, and he's been chilling in the net, so he's feisty again. Well, there you go, 25-1, and would you believe that this isn't the first time I've seen this fish? This is the first and second fish I've caught from the lake. So repeat offender, same spot, same bait, same tactics, handful of manila around the spot, and he's slipped up twice now. But nice to get a little video of him on the bank. So he scraps really hard, this fish, but a good start. 10:30. Fingers crossed for one more in the night or in the morning. There we go. Okay, so how about that for a first morning bite? That coming in at £27, pretty much on the nose, and a new PB for me. Was not expected this morning. Change of swim from last time, but still cast to where I caught the slate grey mirror from. Now it's about 9.5 wraps to the other side, so literally underneath that tree, different angle, same bait, same baiting approach, and this time this beautiful common has tripped up. So gonna get a couple of still photos and slip him back, but Did not expect that this morning. And there's his other side. But beautiful common. Let's get him back. So I've just slit the common back, and I thought I'd show you the rig that I was using. Since I've been coming this year, I changed everything slightly. I thought, well, I haven't had any bites. I was doing a string of blank sessions, and I thought something had to change. So I was using just conventional spinner rigs and nothing, you know, yellows, your pinks, nothing on those. And so what I did instead was I shortened the hook link down to about 5 inches, and I whipped a hair onto the hook. So as you can see, that is the new rig that I've been using. It's literally, it's still a spinner rig. It's still got the spinner rig components. All I've done is shorten the hook link to 5 inches, like I said, and I've whipped that hair on. And what I've been doing as well is I've been using half a manila bottom bait, and tipping it with half a pop-up. Rather than using a full pop-up and it's sitting up like this. It's almost balanced now, so like a wafter, it's going to sit on the deck and just give it that little wobble. And that has done me all of my bites, with the pink tipping it off as well. I've tried yellows, I've tried whites, and I've still, on one rod, I always have just a bright one on its own. And literally this is the only rig that is doing me the bites, and the only bait. And the baiting strategy I use is literally a handful of manila bottom baits around the hook. Some of them halved, just literally crushed in between my finger and thumb, and they just go around the hook, and then 2 bait stringer with the PVA mesh on the end of the hook. That is it. I know it's still I felt the water obviously today, and it's getting warm. It does feel relatively warm, so we're what is the date? So we're almost in the middle of May now, so I think the fish will look to spawn the start of June, weather providing. But we will see. This lake, you can't really dump the bait in. It's just about setting little traps to catch the fish off. So that's what's worked for me. We were getting into late May now, and I remember turning up one evening after work, and the willow fluff falling from the trees was so heavy that it actually looked like it was snowing. It filled the entire lake. Well, a quick morning update. So I came down last night, found my spots, got my middle rod and my right hand rod out. First cast, really nice. Cracked down, one underneath the tree on the far bank, and one opposite again on the far bank. Close by, there's a reed bed, and just into a hole in the reed bed. Beautiful drops. My left hand rod, got that out just down the margin to my left, flicked it out over, underneath an overhanging tree, and I thought, yeah, that'll do, that's fine. I've got 2 on good spots. These were rock hard spots, and then this one, the lake is clay, but I've been baiting up this patch a bit before, as well as the other 2 patches. Got that underneath the tree, and yeah, that'll do. That was all right. Thought I'm guaranteed a bite on the middle or the right hand rod. Guaranteed a bite. They were such good drops. You know, when everything just goes right for those rods. Yes, perfect. 2:30 in the morning, got a bite on the left hand rod. Not the one that I thought was going to go, absolutely not. But a nice fish in the end. Crusty old mirror it was. I didn't actually get any footage of me holding it, but one of the guys who was on last night was kind enough to take some pictures for me. Yeah, this old warrior came in at £19. He had all damage to his mouth. I've no idea how I hooked it, because I'm not sure if his mouth could close, but yeah, happy with that. The session after that crusty old one, I remember fishing that swim a few more times, and using the throwing stick to get a good spread of boilies out to the far side where we'd seen fish cruising in and out of a snag, and you'd see them in there all day. And I got down early one evening and helped the bailiff banging a few posts. I think I got down at 3 o'clock. So we did some maintenance at the lake, and I didn't cast out until about 7 p.m. that evening. And within 15 minutes, I had one right from the margin.
Well, how about that? That's a mega linear to go into this evening. It's just about to get dark. I literally had the rod in for 15 minutes. I've been waiting since 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I put it in probably now about half an hour ago, but 15 minutes it was in, and it just absolutely ripped off. Tight clutch, fishing right in close to the edge, and the rod tip was just bending round, and that is the prize. The fight lasted about 30 seconds, so he's been an absolute handful, this guy. He's got plenty of energy. Going to take a few pictures and get him back. Awesome way to go into the night.
Well, as you can see, it's getting dark now, and I've put that fish back and got the rod back out, literally dropping it off the end of the rod tip, undoing the bail arm and just dropping it down. It is quite literally a rod length out. The rods are right in front of me, about 2 foot away, so it's easy to just get out of bed, get straight onto them. No shoes needed. It's nice and dry. But yeah, that's a good way to go into the night. An 18-pounder linear like that, oh, it's such a nice fish. It's been a pretty productive spring so far. I think I'm going to give it a last little push now. It's Bank Holiday Monday, so it's the 29th. I'm going to do tonight, tomorrow and the day after, just the evenings into the morning. See how I get on, and like I said, give it that last little push and see if they start spawning, because we're at that sort of time now. This lake, I know a load of other lakes have started spawning already, and this lake is a little bit behind, but it's usually like that. I won't be fishing for a week after Wednesday, so we'll see how we get on, see if they start spawning. If not, the spring will continue, and I'll keep you guys up to date, obviously. I might get a couple more sessions in, we'll have to see, so fingers crossed. But yeah, I'll be down tomorrow as well and the day after, so fingers crossed for another bite. I didn't manage to get down to the lake and fish for a best part of a month after that linear, but I was always going down and baiting up at least twice a week. I set up back in the swim where I'd caught the slate grey, and I'd been dropping bait along that reed line, and on arrival I'd seen fish fizzing. So 2 rods went on the spot and 1 went close in the margin, and that was it. Traps were set. At 6 o'clock that evening, the middle rod ripped off, and I was standing over it, but before I could get to it, the rod had already got into the reeds and snagged me. And then I was stood there for a couple of minutes, just holding down firm pressure, and then all of a sudden it just gave way and the line snapped. I was absolutely gutted. I redid the rod and got a fresh rig back on it, cast straight back to the spot, and there was still fizzing going on. At the time, I actually texted my mate to tell him that I'd lost my first fish of that campaign, and he teased me to tell me that it was my target fish, the gold common. An hour later, that same rod went off, the middle rod, but I was straight onto it and gave it a load of stick to stop it from getting into the reeds. The fish was holding, and it was giving a decent scrap. 6 or 7 minutes, it was just pulling and pulling and pulling, and eventually it took a dart straight towards me and got itself into a weed bed, completely locked up. I got a quick glimpse of it, and I could see it was a common, and I think 9 of the 35 fish that are in the lake are common, so I knew it was quite a rare one. And within minutes it was completely locked up, couldn't move, and it disappeared where the weed had just bowled over it. And I stood there for ages, what felt like ages anyway, just holding a tight line, giving nothing back, and just keeping as much pressure as I dare to put on it. Obviously I didn't want a hook pull, and I didn't want the line to snap, so I just held and just waited. And I think in about 10 minutes it finally came free. A couple of the regular lads there who were fishing, they came to do the honours of netting the fish and IDing it, and there it was, my target fish, the gold common. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get, again, any footage of the fish, but the lads who were on hand were able to take some pictures for me. It's one I really dearly wanted to catch, and the reason I actually targeted this lake in particular. I did manage one more session after this and managed to catch one of the oldies of the lake, a nice little fish, and I'll let you guys finish off with that.
Well, that'll do. Nice little mid double to start the session, and it's very welcome. It's come off the middle rod, so it's gooed up. It's come on a mixture of 2 goos on a manila wafter. So yeah, happy with that mid double. Nice little start. Fingers crossed for another one. There has been fish showing on the spot since I've had the rod out as well, so it's looking promising for a second bite. That's a good start.